Hey everybody! Today's video I'm just going to show you a simple all stencil ink blending card that you can use as a teacher gift at the end of the year with this beautiful apple stencil. And this is a layering stencil. It has so many pieces and so much detail that it's just incredible. They all are on this one stencil. You can see there's a little highlight. I'm actually going to kind of give you an alternate timeline for that one. There are little details that you would find on apples, and there's also an apple slice over on the right that you can sort of see. So I'm going to use my grip mat, which I love for stencils. I never have to worry my stencils are going to slip. I just keep it in this misty, and then I use my stencils on top of it. So I'm creating a highlight with the light green ink, and I don't know why I always do this top right, but I always do it top right. It's like there's a universal light source in my head. And then I'm going to use two different reds to complete the apple. And don't worry, this will not make mud, even though we're doing complementary colors. That's like my fight song. You can always use complementary colors together. As a matter of fact, you should always use complementary colors together. That's how nature designed it. I am using Post-it notes prolifically to protect both my card and to make sure I'm not creating additional stencil designs on the card. So feel free to cover up whatever you need to cover up while you're doing this. But you'll notice that the leaf, even though these designs have like the leaf and the stem and everything etched onto the stencil, that is for alignment. That is not because those are open areas that will get ink through them. That is to help you create your composition on your card, and I find it super helpful. This is a genius way to create stencils that I haven't really seen before, and I think it's brilliant. So now I'm using the darker ink, and I'm really building these layers up pretty slowly because that's how you get kind of that glowy look. And now I'm going to move on to, this is the alternate timeline that I was telling you about, because this layer that I'm about to do can be a highlight or a low light. So you can completely change the look of this apple if you do the opposite of what I'm doing here. So if you had a white ink or another opaque, lighter ink than this, even a pink pigment ink that you wanted to put on here, this would be a highlight. But I like the dramatic look of a low light when I'm using stencils that offer a highlight option. So I'm just being kind of contrary as I do and creating this bold, dark, dramatic section of the apple with what I believe is it, I don't know this for a fact, intended to be a highlight. And I think it's just a fun, different way to use your stencils. Don't follow any rules, please. Not about rules. Okay, then there are some little detail marks, the little imperfections that you normally see on an apple that I actually chose to do in that same green, but I'm applying a lot of the green to make them a little bit darker. I think on anything botanical, the little imperfection marks are so critical. So there's one layer with little dots, and then there are little stripes, and it's just so realistic. It's just unreal. Now here you can see that they've portioned the leaf layers out in a few different ways. There's a dark side of the leaf, there's a light side of the leaf, but there's also this little section that curls under that you're going to see in the close-up, which I think is just brilliant. And these are all in separate sections of the stencil. So here I'm going to go put in both the stem and that little folded under part of the leaf. And I'm doing this with my darkest color. And you're going to see how brilliant this is when I show it to you close up. So if you put just a brown in at the end, it makes that folded under shadow of the leaf pop. And it also makes your stencil part of the stem very accurate. So this is an incredibly realistic stencil. After I was finished creating this image, I laid this tape over the top of it and just ink blended blue through the tape kind of around the apple for sort of a bright, happy sky feeling in the background. And I used the sentiment from the stamp set, which I will link in the description. So head over to my blog for more information, and thanks so much for watching.